All right, thanks, everyone. Call to order the Standing Committee on Strategic Priorities. It is 5:02. The town of Smithers acknowledges the Gidim Den clan and the Wet'suwet'en people on whose unceded traditional territory we live, work, and play. And we have no one in the gallery, so I'm going to skip the public notice of webcasting. And council, we have an agenda, no late items that I see. Motion to approve. Councillor Elliott, all in favor? Opposed, I think I said all in flavor, okay. And we are up to 5-1 from Mr. Dewar with the strategic project list update.
Yeah, thank you. So the intention of the report is just to provide the quarterly update to council on progress for our strategic projects. So there's a whole breadth of strategic projects. We've seen, I think, 9 that are slated for completion in 2026 be completed now, and a variety of them have also advanced significantly. So this is an opportunity, if council has any questions on the status of any of the projects, to please ask staff. And this will be the last update that we'll be providing this council. So.
Oh, sorry, I left that on. Council, questions, comments? Councillor Ray.
I was just wondering, it still says 10% to go on Princess Street. I was just wondering what was left to go up there. It looks done to me, so I just was wondering what else needed to be done.
Mr. Allen?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Atchell. I think at the time, like last week, we still had final landscaping and signage to be placed. So there was still at least 10% withheld on the payments. In fact, I think it's more like about 30% is being withheld, but so it's kind of that percentage is kind of a combination of amount spent and any deficiencies in the project for holdbacks. Yeah.
Thanks. And just while I have the chair, staff do a good job. It's very well marked, but I happen to be up at Ranger Park and noticed a lot of people going through the new 4-way stop. So if anybody's listening at home, there's a new 4-way stop up there.
Thanks, Councillor Ray. Anyone else? Looks like we might be short. Anything from the staff?
No, certainly grateful to the entire staff team for their efforts in progressing all these projects amongst other day-to-day activities.
Thanks, Mr. Dewar. Yeah, I don't have a comment on particular projects, but perhaps just in that vein, you know, the whole process of learning with strategic priorities, we've talked about it quite a bit at the table, from how we start to how we sort of manage them through. I think there were lots of lessons learned this term. And so we'll count on the continuing council, whoever's back at the table, plus the senior leadership team to sort of guide that process in a way that enables success for both staff and the community and council. Next time, the way we start that really speaks so highly as to how we conclude. But I do think, you know, staff and council, but staff in particular, have a lot of credit in trying to manage the big list and make it cohesive. And especially in the last year, a lot of hard work was done. And I think what we saw is that council responds to that. What's difficult for us as council is if someone enables us to dream, we do. And then it's hard to take the dreams away. So, you know, how we set that out, I think, you know, I've learned lessons too on how we do that. And it will, you know, how that's set up next time will speak to the success that can be achieved. So I think it behooves everyone just to remember the things that we contributed to that made it go well, and the time that we put hurdles in the way. And that was just all around, but thanks to staff for getting us and showing us what has been done. Sometimes when we see things day to day, you never notice what's been done, you only see what's undone. So it's good to be reminded. Okay, so there is the recommendation. Sorry. Oh, Councillor Ray, sorry.
Sorry, just a comment on passing off to the next council. There are several things on here that are council driven, and aren't done, which next council could choose to not continue on with them. But there are a couple things that I noticed. The Parks and Recreation Master Plan implementation, for one, I think that says council. But it does have to be done. So just maybe when you're introducing it to new council, to make sure to differentiate between, things that were initiated by council but are actually have to keep going, versus ones that, maybe are at 0% and don't have to unless the next council so chooses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's several strategic plans that we've brought forward, and I think it's important that these kind of continue to guide the community, and certainly staff will recommend that to the incoming council.
Thanks, Mr. Dewar. Oh, Councillor Leonard.
I'll just follow that up as well. Going back to our initial strategic planning session, and this has been, it's just so well laid out in this format, and I mean, staff has put so much work into this, and it is appreciated. And I would suggest that if we do that planning session for the new council in the fall, that we maybe start here and say this is what's in progress, and it would be much more helpful for new council, people that hadn't served before, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just state publicly that it's going to be a very robust orientation process for the new council that we have aligned. And certainly as we kind of move into thinking about strategic planning, which will be in the new year, we are going to make sure that council has all necessary information to be making the best decisions as they start laying out their strategic plans. So.
Thanks, Mr. Dewar. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the report. Then there's a recommendation with two parts. One is just for information so that we have received it. And the second part, though, that we recommend that council add the development services process modernization project to the strategic priorities list. So the funding's been received and this work's going to go on. So Councillor, you're moving it. Any discussion or information needed on that? Seeing none, I have to get clarity on what I actually asked for. It's a two-part motion. Are you moving the whole part, the whole thing? Thank you. Okay, so the entire recommendation, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, that's carried. Thanks, Mr. Dewar, and to all of you for the work through this whole session, including the bumps along the way when we were trying to figure out how to do this better. So echoing what, other councillors have said, and thanks to Mr. Dewar for thinking ahead on how we will do this better. Council can do it better going forward so that things are understood easily, work towardable. How's that for English? And accomplishable, more good English. So there we go. Just to look around the table if there's any comments before we adjourn our very short meeting. I forgot anything? Okay. Motion to adjourn. Councillor Elliott moves. We don't need a seconder. We're in committee. Yeah. All in favor? We're adjourned. I don't even think we have to vote on all in favor. We're adjourned.